So how many of these alter egos do you have?
4.
4. Okay.
Four that I specifically will activate with people, and that's in 4 very important roles that I play in my life, right? Because again, we have many egos that we play through. We have many roles in life. So we've got the ego and the ego is typically the trapped self. We defend it, like and it's not a healthy thing. So then the alter ego there is to create the super self, the best self, the best version of you in that. And so I've got 4 specific areas that I'm really developing right now.
Can you tell us what they are?
Yeah, so there's the leader in my business, okay, that works with the team, and that's Super Richard. So we're giving it names.
Right. Okay.
And then on stage, and when I'm creating some content, it's Playful Hugh.
Okay.
And so that's me honoring the person who I'm inspired to act through on stage, which is my goodness.
Hugh Grant. No,
not Hugh Grant.
No.
It's not Hugh Grant.
It's the Wolverine guy.
Hugh Jackman.
Hugh Jackman.
Yeah.
Why him?
Because he's got I just really resonate with him. Like I really like him. I've always liked him as an actor. Seeing him in enough interviews, he's
not what you think, right?
He's very thoughtful.
Yeah,
he's very playful. He's a jokester too. But the thing there is like there's one word in particular that I'm attaching to is that playfulness thing.
Okay.
Because my wife had told me a little while ago, I was sharing with you earlier, that the great frustration that she would have with, say, the personal brand of Todd is that she's like, I fell in love with you because you were one of the funniest guys I've ever met. And that doesn't come out.
It doesn't come out on your website.
It doesn't come on your website. It doesn't come out in the content, and that's because I talk about like maybe intense things or whatever. But so I'm leaning into that stuff way more because that is a huge part of who I am. I'm totally the jokester. When you work in sport, there's a lot of trash talk behind the scenes. I love to needle people and give them, you're Brian right now, but there will be a nickname that comes up maybe in the interview at some point.
I hope so. I need one.
But I love that side of things. I think, again, we take life very seriously, and I'm very honest with that because I've taken life very seriously. And it's been a trap at times. So playfulness. Okay. So Hugh, Playful Hugh.
Playful Hugh, Serious Richard.
Super Richard.
Super Richard, right. Okay.
Playful Hugh. Lord Vader.
Okay.
Lord Vader is the version of me that I use when I'm writing.
Okay.
And so, again, not to freak people out with this stuff, but this is the playful side of this. I want to give people, whether they judge or not, I don't really care. I'm just giving people how those people who get to operate at a top level are operating. So I have a perfect working replica of the Darth Vader mask, sound and everything, like the breathing as I breathe. Even when I talk, it would come out as the Vader voice or whatever.
This is real talk now.
This is real talk.
I love
right?
it. All right, yeah. So you got one of these.
So I've got one of those.
Okay.
It sits. If you see interviews with me at my office, you'll see it sitting behind me. Sometimes it's in the picture, sometimes it's not, but it's sitting behind me. That's where I keep it. And so I'm dyslexic, okay? And I'm an auditory guy. Like I can speak things out better than I could write them.
Okay.
But when I was going through the writing of my book, because I wrote that book, I had a ghostwriter that I worked with to get the first draft done, and then I took it over and finished it off with the stories and stuff. Boy, you talk about resistance, because I did not have a healthy identity as a writer. I did not see myself that way. But I was like, who wouldn't give a shit about how they think and how they're being perceived? And I'm a huge Star Wars guy. And I love the dark side as well. Because light, dark. So I'm like, oh, it's Lord Vader. So I went online, bought like a $500 Darth Vader mask. And I would actually put it on.
Before you write, or when you're writing?
Yeah, no, I would wear while I'm writing.
Wow.
Not the entire time,
okay.
Just enough to get me going. That's cool. To get you past that, because again, it's the friction of the start that's the hardest part, right? A lot
of self-doubt. And they say writer's block is just you having too many expectations for what you're going to write anyways. I mean, it's just a mentality.
Yeah. And so Lord Vader's mask goes on, and then I write, and then it's look out. Now, I'm not writing with Lord Vader's words or anything like that. No, but it's that way that he would show up. Like, would he ever have writer's block?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
You know, all these things. So when I put that on,
It's funny you say that. So,
but again, like, why not be fun with this stuff?
No, I
right?
agree.
Like that's because again, I know myself as a youngster. I was a serious kid from the very start of my life, and maybe didn't smell the roses as much as I could have and should have when I was a kid. I battled depression all of my entire life. I had a very traumatic experience, a sexual assault that happened to me when I was 12 that really, sent me into a spiral, and I had to battle suicide a lot through my teens and 20s, and it's what's made me really good at the mental game and performance work is just an extraordinarily high level of compassion for other people. And I have this issue with, it's very popular on social media to say, cut all the toxic people out of your life. And I think, no, you need to level up your skill set so that you can deal with toxic people in maybe a more compassionate way. Like, there are some people who are just, they are psychotically toxic. Those people, yeah, I'm gonna avoid them. But some people are just hurt, and literally nobody has come along and treated them with a little bit of kindness. So they're hurting you. Like, it happens to me at events. I'm not gonna be everyone's cup of tea, and someone comes up and they feel like it's their privilege to give me some advice or challenge me on something. Some people will do it in a nice way, and other people will do it in a very toxic way. And in that moment, I've got a choice. I can, tell them to beat it or whatever, or I can just have a conversation and get to know them better and see how I can help them. Because maybe I didn't help them on stage with the speech, but I only have 45 minutes. Maybe I can help them off the stage with it, right? And so I've had to step into that. So that kind of idea that you got to cut all toxic people out of your life, I think is pretty weak. And it's actually what's setting, I think, society on a really poor course.